Hey friends, welcome back to another Redstone episode. Now, if you all have seen, over the past 9 months, the Minecraft community has been going insane with Buildstone projects. We've seen builds like animated flags, and animated burbs, and crashing waves, which is crazy, and then this absolute horror. And let's not forget fans. Lots and lots of fans. But guess what? I'm not here to talk about that at all today. Instead, we're going to talk about a feature that was introduced way back in the day in the 1.13 Aquatic update. And that, my friends, is Leafstone. Now, what exactly is Leafstone? Well, let me explain. Now, in the Aquatic update, they made it so that the state of leaf blocks, and this includes either natural leaves or player-placed leaves, that their state will change after 1 game tick, which, if I recall, should be half a redstone tick, when a log is placed or removed within 6 blocks. So, for example, we place a block, light turns on, we remove the block, the light turns off. And the cool thing about this can be done 6 blocks away, but it's actually independent for each leaf block. So we could actually just go through and we could toggle it by placing a wood block against each different state of leaves. And that's kind of cool. But here's the thing. I've been looking around on the YouTubes, and to be honest, I can hardly find any Leafstone builds. And when I say Leafstone builds, I mean builds that like primarily just use Leafstone. So today, we're going to kind of issue ourselves a challenge. What's that challenge? Well, we're going to try to make a 3x3 piston door, and we want to use as little we want to use no redstone. No redstone dust, no redstone torches, no redstone repeaters. Obviously, I'm going to have to use things like observers and pistons and maybe even a comparator. And then afterwards, I want to try to see if we can compact it. So get your snacks, hold your butts, and let's get to redstoning. So for the resources, all I want to use is this. If we can get away without using the comparator, that's going to be great, but I just have it here just in case. And the first thing that we're going to do is let's see if we can figure out how to do a double piston extender. So we'll put 2 pistons up. I think we want both sticky pistons, and then we need to power this. Let's say we are going to need, so we know we need a leaf block, an observer. I think I'm going to use a copper bulb as like to toggle it into a T flip-flop. And then we need probably a comparator. Okay, so comparator, we're going to do a copper bulb and then an observer facing that copper bulb, a leaf block. Oh, right. I kind of forget about that. Let's reset that. And this, excellent. And then now if we place a wood block, that should go up. And then we need to now find a way to power this second piston, because that's going to be what pushes the floor up into the door, I guess. You know, I guess before we get that far, let's go ahead and turn this into an actual T flip-flop. I think that wasn't what I wanted to do. We'll do you right there. Okay. Now this should give us a button press to turn it on and a button press to turn it off. On. Oh, adjust right. Duh. It's a button. It goes on and then it goes off. Is that fine? Is that how I want it? That's probably fine. We'll keep it like that for now. And now for figuring out how to power that second piston. How am I gonna do that? Start off, we'll put a target block right next to it, right above it. And then I'm going to want an observer. That should work there. And then here we'll just have a line of leaves. Excellent. And then I think I actually want to do a line of leaves here. That's 5. Let's do 6. So that should give us the maximum reach. And then here we'll have an observer observing that leaf block, piston, and a wood block. Okay, so now this should be, I'm actually not sure how this is going to work with like 2 different leaf blocks. I think it should power this one and then should also do this entire 6 branch. And then that should reach over and power that. So if this works, we should see both of those pistons actually extend. In fact, here, let's just place something here just to see it. Awesome. And it even leaves it behind, which is exactly what I want. Will this actually work for collecting it? Almost. Wait. That would technically be the floor. So peeps, I think we're working good so far. Okay. So that's the double piston extender. Let's go ahead and set up our floor. And the bottom portion of our door should be that. Actually, let's just go ahead and we'll frame out the entire door. Do these guys and whoops. And this side. So the plans are, these are going to move into the center. This one is going to move up and this one is going to move down. For now, we'll leave the hole. I think that'll be fine. And then when it opens up, everything will get retracted out to this state. I think that should work. Let's hope. Now, next up, let's go ahead and see if we can figure out how to figure out the sides. To start, we are going to need some pistons. We're also going to need leaves. Let's see. Let's go out 3 blocks, and then we can do. What am I gonna? What? Let's see. I'm going to need observers. Let's do a target block. And then we should be able to do pistons against all 3 of those. And you know what? Let's actually just do same thing on this side. 3 up, and then observer, and target block, and piston. Okay, now how are we going to activate these? Let's do I want to work backwards or forwards? Let's work forwards. We're just going to copy. Wait, do I want to? Guys, I don't know what I'm trying to do. Let's do that. I'm gonna need to extend it over a little bit. That should send a signal. And then if we do that guy there, what am I, guys, what am I doing? Okay, no, it's too far. Let's try it here. That one, and then this should then tap in to some leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be good. Observer. That. Okay. That should be that side. And then we could kind of do something similar over here. Now, how do I, you know what? This is all temporary. Let me just try to put something together. That's not what I want. What am I doing? You there. That's good. You there. You know what? Trying to line this up on the fly is really confusing me. That should be fine. And then you get pushed over here directly in front of that. So if I do no, that doesn't make sense. But you know what? I just realized, we actually don't really need a leaf block right there. We could just do normal observer, because then log in front, observer. Okay, yeah. That should work. And now log there. So if I'm thinking this correct, we push that button. It activates all 3 sides of leaves, turning on the double piston extender, activating these guys, which should, in theory, activate the doors. And then we still have to figure out the top. Okay, no, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and see if this works. Okay, we get some double firing. I'm not sure if I could actually... I don't think I could actually solve that, to be honest. Maybe that's why there's not really a whole lot of Leafstone projects. The things we learn, but that's fine. Does it open back up? It does open back up. Okay. All right, well, peeps, that's really good news. So let's see if we can now figure out the top, which, you know what, that actually should be really simple. If we just do another observer, into a piston, into a log, into double leaves, maybe? That guy facing that. No. Oh, I'm over 1 too far. Okay. So you know what? So we do this. Here, observer, target block, piston faced in the proper spot, log, Leaf, observer, target block here, and then a piston facing down. Okay, all right, peeps, let's see if it works. It does. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, closed. Let's see if it opens. Oh my God, peeps, we're amazing. Okay, awesome. Well, let's keep this momentum going, and let's condense this as small as possible, because this is a little ugly. That's a whole lot of space just for a door. So let's see if we can figure that out. So I think this is going to be actually really simple to narrow down. Let's first go ahead. We'll get rid of that extra noise. That should still be able to activate it. I actually don't think we need these target blocks with how we're changing this. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of this. Oops. Let's go ahead and reset that back. Okay. I think this is good foundation. This should just be really simple. I think as long as we do sticky piston here on each side, we'll add a wood block. That's going to go underneath that and activate that. And then to activate this door, we'll do another observer out, a sticky piston up, another wood block. That should work. And then over on this side, we're going to need, wait, is that right? That gets, and we'll have an observer facing up, sticky piston up, wood block. That should line up there. This button would technically be up ground level. So like, let's imagine this is the floor. Could do something different. Actually, maybe we'll just do it for example. So let's see if we do this. Perfect. That's not too bad, peeps. That's a pretty small footprint. Okay, but before we get too excited, let's go ahead and see if it works. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, and then open it back up. It looks like beforehand, when we did have the target block and the wood block connecting right in the middle, that we had a little bit of a better synchronization on the door opening and closing. Because like, see the bottom ones kind of trigger a little bit different than the top two, but it's still, you know what, that still works pretty lovely. That's not too bad. And then obviously, like if this was all like set up like a tunnel or something. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I love it. Still don't know who decided to call it Leafstone. I don't know. I feel like we could have chose a better name for it. I think the wiki said that was a community decided name, but I wasn't part of that decision, so I don't know. All right. Well, gang, I think we successfully accomplished our challenges. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. Well, I love how the project turned out. It's fantastic, but what I would really love is to hear about your own Leafstone projects. If you guys have anything cool, please comment below. That would be absolutely awesome. And to all my new viewers, you guys make up a huge portion of my channel. And so if you guys keep coming back and you're enjoying what you're seeing, I would really appreciate a like or subscribe. It would absolutely make my day. And to all of my subscribers, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and a happy holidays, and I will see ya in the next episode. Laters!